What up? We are back, REALMigos. Ian and I, we are here. Where are you tuning in from? We would love to hear from you. Finally got Ian back too.
Hey,
Last week he
finally,
was like, yeah, like last week you were in Chicago and
you were
I
with
wasn't
me. What are
seeing
you talking about? We were in Detroit.
we were in Detroit, but you were in Chicago when I did the live stream. And then we
Oh,
did
that's
last
right.
Friday. That's right. God, so yeah, last Friday, if you didn't miss it, we did an interview with Nick Shaw. Really,
Yeah.
really good information. Ian actually today listened to the ABOR economist who they just hired talk about the Austin economy. So lots of different stuff coming in about the Austin economy. Curious, I'll ask you a question on that. I got a post that I posted on Facebook. They got a lot of engagement. It was a simple question about California. And I'm predicting there's going to be a second wave of Californians leaving California. I'll tell you why in a second. We'll go through that. It's going to be hot. If you're a Californian thinking about moving to a different state, definitely drop a comment below. Also, we got a bunch of cool, fun stuff to talk about. There's a lot of cool stuff happening in the Austin area. We got a lot to go through. Ian, good to see you, man.
Dude, good seeing you. Yeah, there's a lot. So I think the first thing I'm going to talk about is before even the ABOR thing. I was in class yesterday with a bunch of realtors, and it was an MLS statistics class. The instructor goes, he's looking for listings so that he can pull up stats, right? He was like, "Who in the room has some listings?" Nothing.
What?
That's what I said. I was like, what's happening? Am I
I
in the
mean,
wrong room?
that just shows the stat that 51% of agents didn't sell anything last year. So
It blew my mind. So anyway, I was in that class and then had to go to the ABOR one this morning. So what happened is the Austin Board of Realtors, they've been making a lot of money because we've had a lot of realtors joining, and
yeah,
they charge us a lot monthly. And I'm
yeah,
not saying anything against ABOR other than now they can afford to hire an economist. And so they have a doctor that practices economy. And I don't know all of her credentials, but she sounded well poised and seemed well educated. Anyway, all of that to say, she had some pretty strong outlooks for Austin in general. But she said one of the things that was really interesting is she said that the interest rates are not going to drop like we think, like most people think. They will come down, but it's going to be like a quarter of a point when they do each time. So by the end of the year, she's anticipating, as all these economists are going to do, she's anticipating that it's only going to come down about a total 0.75 or 1 point over the entire year. That was her prediction.
yeah. And this is what it's tough, man. Like people want to hate on realtors, and I understand why they want to hate on realtors. And because I hear all these realtors that the moment that interest rates start to drop, oh, interest rates are dropping, it's great, everything's amazing. And I'm going, well, I mean, if you paid attention, you'd know that the 10-year is bouncing around. If you paid attention, you know that the market is still the stock market still kind of unstable. So I don't see rates dropping as quickly as people think. Even in the Fed notes, they talked last time. Now the Fed notes came out, and I actually haven't even read them. I've been busy. You know what I did today, Ian?
What'd you do?
I had to go to a client's house we just closed it. We were on the sell side. We were about to close. And we didn't know there was a bunch of stuff from the previous owner in the attic. They had never been in the attic. And the buyer agent happened to go up there, and it was stacked and packed full of stuff from like the 80s. I mean, I looked at a magazine that was like literally from the 80s. I'm like, well, this could have been you know, could have been a Playboy or something. I mean, geez, why is it like Vogue, right? And, at least like out of all this trash, it'd been like funny. Like I could have like at least put that on Facebook, like, oh, or
Nada.
but
Nada.
yeah, I mean, here's funny. I'll show you the video I made of it. It was pretty not fun. But anyway, that's what I got to do today, man. It was exciting and not exciting at the same time. Here's a video. This is Instagram. What?
After you play the video. Oh, the sound's not coming through.
Yeah, all that stuff was in the attic. Look at that.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. But we ended up getting it out of there. So
Good. Yeah, I heard
yeah.
you mention some names of people that you would use or something like that, or comments. I saw it, a glimpse of it. So another thing, just for people that are tuning into REALMigos, the fact that we have an economist now that specializes in local Austin will be huge, because a lot of the news, like, we'll talk about things that are happening local while everyone else is talking about national. They're not actually referring to Austin proper or even the surrounding suburbs. So as she's putting out the numbers, you'll see the Austin numbers and the metrics get a lot cleaner and targeted for how things are projected locally. So I'm really excited for that. And hopefully she goes down to the county and the city and maybe even the neighborhood level. Oh man, that'd be great.
Well, it'd be great if she went down to the city and gave them some real insights on how taxes are killing people in
Dude,
Texas.
speaking of, so there's a site called Rent Cafe. You know, we've got all these different sites that are out there. Everybody's got access to this stuff. I'm looking at one of their blogs, and they're talking about actual owner-occupied homes in the city of Austin are at 45%. The rest are rented or vacant. 45% of homes in Austin proper, according to this, are actually owned.
So 65% or 55% are not?
55% are renter occupied households.
Really? So we're a renter city, huh? Interesting.
Apparently.
Interesting. I didn't know that stat.
Now,
the thing is 40% of the, no, 60%. When I did this the other day, 65% of the inventory on the MLS right now is vacant inventory, 40% of which is new construction.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a stat for you.
Man, it's interesting. It's interesting to see this. You know, remember how HEB moved in Georgetown? Remember there was it moved across the street. So now they have a big flooring company going in. And I'm thinking, dude, you have all these builders that are going to have all this inventory in a little bit. And you're putting in an extra large flooring company over in Georgetown. Huge. It's got to be huge. It's right on the corner of Wolf Ranch.
That's cool. So I posed a question to you when I called to say, hey, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
I'm curious what people think about this. So I posted this, and please don't stalk me on, I took it off. I posted this on Facebook because last night I was watching Patrick Bet David podcast, and they had Mike Milinek, or what, I don't know his name. He was on talking about how, all the things in life, but he was talking about how he was going to considering leaving California. And what's interesting is I personally have a lot of California buyers and investors calling me right now. It's interesting. Like, I get a lot in general because of the channel, but it's unusually high. And so I asked this question on Facebook. Is it showing up? Yeah. So I asked this question on Facebook. Don't Facebook stalk me, please. I'm having more and more people from California reach out and say they are leaving. I left this open-ended to make it sound like they're leaving Texas to go back to California, which I am seeing that too. And we've covered that on the regrets videos. Why do they wanting to leave, and where are you going to go? It was interesting in the comment section. Obviously, a lot of what people were talking about as far as what they were upset about was obviously policy and things like that, drugs, homelessness, taxes. I mean, this is what they're talking about. This is what people are posting. It was interesting to see where they were wanting to go, because a lot of people were saying Arizona, Idaho, Texas, Tennessee, Virginia. I mean, we've seen a lot of people here that have made the move from here to either, what's this? Cincinnati? Is it Cincinnati, Ohio? It's Ohio, Cleveland. I don't know. One of the Ohio cities where there's the second tech center now being built out now.
Cincinnati.
We have a lot of Cincinnati,
Columbus,
Ohio. Yeah. And then we're having a lot of people go to North Carolina, right? Raleigh, those areas. So I'm just curious in the chat, if you are somebody that lives in California, what are the reasons why you're wanting to leave? There's a few people that said they were going to stay, but they're all realtors.
Mhm.
To be honest, they're realtors and they have something to sell or buy. So just curious, are you seeing this too, Ian? I'm just out of curiosity.
I am. I just had 2 closings last week, and it was one was coming from California, another one was going back to California, which is again something that we had talked about. I think we anticipated that would start happening a lot, but there's also people that we have the Colorado a lot, right? The Denver Boulder transition. I haven't had anybody going to North Carolina, but that always comes up in the conversation. Is North Carolina? A lot of it ends up being family, though. At the end of the day, it's love or money. That's why people move, right? And so it either costs too much to stay, or they see the opportunity to make more money going somewhere, or maybe they're going because their family is there and they just can't bring their kids up here for whatever reason. So rarely is it anything too political, even though that comes up a little bit every once in a while.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I think I've heard this quite a bit recently, and we talked about this a little bit. I hear a lot of people that move to Texas that are not happy with some of the policy changes that have had in Texas as a whole, not necessarily Austin. And so they're wanting to leave for those policy changes. And I asked people where they're leaving from Austin. A lot of them saying Denver. I hear Denver a lot. The other reason I hear people want to move is the weather. I think people make policy one of the things, but I think there's also other things. It's the weather. The weather got really hot this year. What's nice is it was cold for 2 weeks. It was beautiful. Oh my God. Since Sunday, it hit Saturday. Oh, epic weather here. It's just beautiful.
Well, and so we talked about this. I drove with my wife and my dogs from here to our Detroit event, right? When we were there, it was a blizzard. It was -8 degrees and it was a blizzard. It is such a smack in the face as to why we left, like why we would never want to go back to someplace like that. I don't know. It was nice. And so we can bear the heat a little bit.
Yeah. Look, I lived in Phoenix most of my life, in Central California, like Fresno, Visalia, Central California. And it is hot there. So this is fine for me. I would rather be here than Phoenix heat. I love Phoenix. Don't get me wrong. I freaking love Phoenix. Dude, I went back in March and I was kind of like disappointed a little bit.
Yeah.
But, and I can't put my finger on why I was disappointed. I don't know. I think because I loved Phoenix so much when I went to school there and the area, and I had so many friends. When I went back, honestly, it felt like a better put together El Paso. Is what it felt like, a better put together El Paso.
It's hot. You want to talk about a place that's hot? El Paso is hot because there's no shade and there's no water. What? Those are the two things that you want to escape to. Speaking of water, and to answer, I think it was Dinosaur D's question. Mild winter. The biggest thing I'm worried about is our lake level right now. Our lake
what's
level
it at right now? It's like 40%, 30%, something like that.
Dude, it's lower than that.
Is it?
It is low. Like, we do not have any water in our lake, in Lake Travis specifically, right? And so a lot of people, I'll call it, what are they, snowbirds or whatever? Like, the value of the properties along the lake might take a hit. And they closed marinas last year. So there was just a lot. And so if you're trying to escape the heat, that is one of the main ways if you want to be outside. And when you don't have that, I think that's why I bet there are a lot of people that'll go back to California just because of that. They have a drought too, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did what happened in California last year, or was it last year or the year before, is what happened in Texas not too long ago. It massively rained for like 3 weeks in Texas, and it totally filled up the lakes. So I'm hoping that happens. But yeah, and it happened. That happened in California because there's a guy who built his whole YouTube channel off of Lake Mead, not full. Go ahead.
Really?
Rainwater, Tangerine, Topo.
Yeah, it's my product placement so that Topo sponsors me.
We are unofficially sponsored by Topo Chico.
Yeah.
Put in the code REALMigos to get your Topo Chico.
Yeah.
So Pete Cruz, I think I meant to ask this question. Hopefully somebody did, or maybe I did. Says California, I miss job opportunities, food, weather, proximity to all the things: Disneyland, national parks, beaches, snow, mountains, redwoods, Napa wine, Paso Robles wine, breweries. So Mr. Cruz, Mrs. Cruz, P. Cruz, curiosity. What was it that keeps you from going back to California? Is it just the prices of homes? Because that's one of the things. One of my friends basically says, "Hey, Jeremy, I lean this way, right? This is the message he sends me. I'm not going to say which way. Would I be okay in Texas? And would I be okay in Austin?" So it was just like, okay, so policies do, but he basically said like, "Hey, like I can't afford to live in California anymore." So go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, there's a lot of things. So the first one is, what did he say? Oh, think about going back to work. Okay, he talks about all the job opportunities. How far do you have to drive to get to any of those opportunities? Any of them?
Speaking of job opportunities, we got information here. I'll throw this up. You keep talking. Keep going.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a really important point. I do like that you have a lot of variety in the seasons based on where you're going to go. I don't know.
I would say the only thing I really missed about
California, I don't know if you were north or south, but that's going to be a big difference, right? Northern California versus Southern California. Oh yeah, the key hires.
So we got key hires.
Dinosaur D asked if it's time to buy in Lago.
Yeah,
I think he's referring to Treviso, and he's wrong. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. South. And speaking of fun things in California, dude, South by is coming up. I am stoked. Non-binary cruise. Okay. With the American flag. Okay.
Doubt.
I love our audience. Right. Hey, don't mess with Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Job opportunities. I have to make $400K in the Bay Area to match what I make here. And I think that's the other thing too. And, Mike Miljanik, whatever his name was, saying, his tax rate's 39% and then California's 13%. So he wants to go to Florida or Texas where he's not paying another 13% because that's over 50% in taxes. Imagine, like, it's so baffling to me that we work so hard to make such little money out of our paycheck. Dinosaur D, isn't Lago on the water? Well, what was formerly on the water? By now, pray for rain and hope your property price doubles when the lake fills back up. One thing that's interesting to me, Ian, is the fact that the property taxes seem to have gotten better. I wouldn't say great. I would say better.
Property taxes have gotten better, and I think prices in Lago specifically are a little relaxed. And if you have there are certain neighborhoods like Tessera in Lago that they have beautiful homes, a lot of new construction, some that are only a couple years old, and it's on the lake. Like a lot of the houses have boat garages, or you could drop it right down into the water. Yeah, there's some stuff there. So maybe it is. Maybe he's not wrong.
Rough Rider SX says the problem with coming to Texas is that you pay a lot in property taxes.
No, you don't. You have to do your research. So I have a listing that's going live at midnight or 12:01, right? And the property taxes, you ready for this? Jeremy, you ready for this? 1.26, no HOA.
Really? Where's that at?
Why can't it? No, it's in Hutto, right on the border of Hutto and Georgetown. 1.26. What? No restrictions.
That unincorporated area?
Yes. Yeah. No restrictions. Double lot.
3.2. Rough Rider X is saying that he pays 3.2 in Houston. What? So let me ask you this. Well, of course, I'm not going to crap on Houston. I've done that enough.
You don't have to.
3.2% in Houston. Their taxes are a lot higher. The question I have is, what is the value of the house and what are you paying in taxes? Because if you think about it, like our taxes, what is it? Our taxes are a progressive tax. Is that what it is? The more your house goes up in value, the more they progress. Is that the way? Whereas like if your income stays the same, like you're not getting that 13%. So you just have to do the math on like how that actually lines up. Yeah. And he said the average
lower
for new
price works.
construction. New construction's so bad. That's why I say be careful when you buy new construction. I say this.
Also, the lower price will work, lower priced homes will work better because of the $100,000 addition. Right, lower priced homes. So, you know, that's a lot better. You know, taking $100,000 off of a $500,000 house is a lot better than taking it off of 1.5 million. Whereas the best place in Austin to buy, yeah, I like it.
Well, that's what ChatGPT says. I'm putting it in ChatGPT right now. What is the
Well,
best?
you're going to get different answers because just like all these other applications, it has
okay. So ChatGPT, this is interesting. I should do my next video. Just have ChatGPT write the whole thing. Make my job a lot easier. Okay. Interesting. Can I pull up this screen? I can pull up this screen. Oh, get out of here. Number 8.
What's number 8?
I'm going to show you in a second. Nice. I'm going to pull it up. Okay. Ready?
Well, you can look. So Aaron, it says if your house was so he's talking about Dinosaur D's house. So if Dinosaur D's house was 20 years old, you can do that, right? Like you can go and see what the tax rates drop to, but there's a baseline in a lot of the areas, right? What happens is with the new construction, they're adding on their developmental costs.
Yeah, there was, I saw this article the other day. I have to go back and find it. It was about PIDs and MUDs. Yep. And it was talking about the developers. Remember on the channel, we had the mayor of Kyle, and he was all upset about how construction companies and developers will circumvent the taxes by these special districts and these PIDs, that the money gets paid to these special PIDs that go just to that area, but don't go to the city. And he was kind of upset about that and didn't like that. I don't want to put words into his mouth, but he wasn't too excited that these special PIDs were together. I got to show you this, man. You're gonna love this.
Aaron's ragging on me, man.
What does he say?
He's got a point though.
So here's what this is gonna be my next video right here. So ChatGPT says that the number one place to buy is in Round Rock, known for its excellent schools and family-friendly atmospheres. It offers a suburban feel and access to numerous parks and outdoor activities. Number 2 is Cedar Park, offers a suburban environment with good schools, shopping centers, and relatively close to Austin. Georgetown, renowned for its same small town. It's not small anymore. Georgetown's getting big. Small town charm and historic downtown. Well, yeah, that's true. Pflugerville, a growing suburb. Like how they just kind of almost crapped on it. It's a growing suburb with affordable housing options compared to Austin, has good schools, and it's close to major employers. This would make a terrible video. This is probably what realtors doing YouTube now that are ripping us off. Ian, this is what they're doing. They're not doing any research. Just going to ChatGPT. That's terrible. Leander, rapidly growing with new home developments. Leander's kind of slowing down on their developments, are they not? It's all Liberty Hill. Known for good schools, it is a bit farther from Austin, offering more space. Butte, Kyle, south of Austin. The town offers more affordable housing. Do you agree with this, by the way? Drop a comment below. I want to hear from you if you agree with this. Kyle and Butte, number 6, south of Austin. These towns offer more affordable housing options. True, down 20% year over year, by the way, with small town feel. That's what ChatGPT is not going to tell you. Yet are still close enough to Austin for a reasonable commute. Yeah, I would say if you're going to buy in Kyle and Butte, it is down 20%. That's if you want me to make the next video of that, I will. Lakeway, located near Lake Travis, is ideal for these looking for homes near the water and a more upscale and higher property prices. They should put taxes on there too. Dripping Springs, known for its hill country scenery and more rural living experiences, great for those who prefer quieter and more nature oriented. So there's the dude that was on Bloodline. I forget his name. He actually lives in Dripping Springs, like the main character from Bloodline. He lives in Dripping Springs. He was out. We actually are doing a huge expansion project on the freeway, and people are ticked. They don't want the expansion. And he was there looking at the expansion. So interesting. But do you agree with that list? Hutto's not even on there. Hutto should be on there.
It was on there. Wasn't it like the second one?
No. Round Rock, Cedar Park, Georgetown, Pflugerville. See, stupid ChatGPT doesn't know what it's talking about.
That's because it's an aggregate of the whole of the internet that has higher.
I have the paid version. I have ChatGPT 4.
Yeah. But you don't have any of like the custom instructions and stuff in there, do you?
Some of it. Lakeway should absolutely be on the list. I agree. But I think Lakeway and Dripping Springs should be higher. I think if the list was one of the most affordable, then you just gave the most affordable list. Dinosaur T 78660. Do I even have it? Oh, I had that on here. I pulled it down. I'd love to see what the price drop is for 78660. I'll have to look it up later. That was fun. Remember when we did that game?
I do. That was pretty good.
I went up the most.
We should do that again in a couple episodes.
You should watch the video I just posted because I actually talk about a lot of those. Not you, just you as the people. 78660 is a new 90210, baby. Okay. Interesting. What else is coming to Austin, Ian?
Oh, there's a whole list. We just sent a list back and forth a little bit. So,
did you hear that Yeti bought?
Yes.
Bought Yeti
backpack
to acquire backpack company Mystery Ranch. You hear this?
I don't know that a lot of people know that Yeti is an Austin-based company.
It is an Austin-based company.
They have an exclusive burnt orange from UT, exclusive color.
I want to pull this up. I'm curious to read this because I myself like Yeti. I think that's like if you move to Texas, like you have to get like the starter pack, right? The Texas starter pack is a Longhorn sweatshirt. It's a Yeti, or if you're a woman, it's a Stanley, right? But it was always a Yeti for a long time. You got to get one of those, especially if you live in Austin, one of those like hats with the dome in the middle and the like straight out the side round. You have to get one of those, especially if you move to Austin. You definitely need a pair of flip-flops. You need a Toyota Tundra or a truck. So
yeah, it's like Cybertruck's the new truck for Tesla for Austin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that thing's starting to go every. Oh, I did the wrong one.
I'm so excited.
So yeah, me too. So excited. Jeremy,
have you ever heard of Octane, a logistics company?
No.
So that's a big one. Zen Business, Austin-based startup. So they have a new CEO. They're not just starting, but autoscheduler.ai. They're a handful. The girl that started Bumble, is it?
Oh yeah, is that still a thing? I don't date.
Apparently, but she has another project that she's working on called it's a nonprofit called Urban Roots. I mean, they still have to hire people to help them improve leadership skills and learn about farming and food access. It has farms in East and Southeast Austin. That's good. That's real good.
Here's the Yeti to acquire backpack company Mystery Ranch. So January 30th, it says sign an agreement to acquire Bozeman, Montana-based heavy-duty backpack and bag maker Mystery Ranch for an undisclosed amount. So it's not here in Austin. Mystery Ranch packs have earned a global reputation within. Oh, that's the name of it. Mystery Ranch. Packs have earned a global reputation with the most demanding companies. Their ethos of passion people are not only aligned with Yeti team. Damn. Yeti. I want to buy some Yeti stock then. Jeez,
yeah,
so
Yeti's.
I buy Yeti stock so they can buy other ranches.
Yeah, they seem like a really good company, and I'm wondering if they plan like how much of their operation will need to expand in Austin because of the acquisition. So I always wonder about that.
That'd be good.
You know, how many of their C-suite are going to be coming back and forth, that sort of thing. But Montana, isn't that the relationship? It's like an interesting relationship. Speaking of, what was his name? The guy that did Yellowstone? He's like one of the largest landowners in Texas.
Is he really?
Yeah. He's
Sheridan guy?
Yeah, Taylor Sheridan.
Is that his name?
Yeah, Taylor Sheridan.
Cruz says the Cybertruck grows on you.
I have a picture. I'm in a little group, and I have a pic. They sent me a picture of a matte white Cybertruck with the light bar on top. It is the best looking truck on the road. It's not on the road. The best looking truck today.
So there's a thing right now. If you want to buy the Cybertruck early, you pay like $1,000 deposit, and it gives you like the first edition,
Foundation.
whatever, something like that. I thought about doing it just to make people mad, but
no, don't do it.
I kind of want all the bugs to get like squared away before I buy one, you know?
I was going to say, I have a couple things on good authority. Wink, wink. Not from Elon himself or anything like that, but I have a couple things on good authority that very soon there's going to be a change worth waiting for. Because I told you I had 2 on order. I'm like, I'm ready. But now they're pumping them out like crazy.
I thought they bought a Mystery Ranch. I didn't know they bought Mystery Ranch, the backpacks. I was like, oh, they bought a Mystery Ranch. That's so great in Montana. I was so
like, I'll just take one of them and hopefully I get something good.
I must not be a backpacker enough to know what that is. We must be close to being neighbors. I have property in Carmel and reserve at West Creek. Oh, I was like, dang, he's got quite a bit. Oh, no. It was Aaron who's got plenty of property. Actually, it's been a while since we've done this, man. I want to keep going through a bunch of different articles, but it's fun chatting with everybody. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Last week, we didn't really get to chat because we were hammering out that live stream. Meadows is all warehouses. Interesting. You keep talking. I'll pull up that.
One of the other things one of the other articles we were talking about was the South by startup pitches.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
So apparently there are 45 finalists for the 2024 edition.
What does that mean?
That they're finalists for the pitch competition, and they might convert into an actual business, all Austin-based, probably VC-backed locally. So let's see. AI robotics, we've got Austin's Autonomize. Okay. Neva AI, I think, is one. So let's see. AI assistant. Listen to this. Helps immigrants navigate the complex immigration process, as well as visa applications and other legal work. Interesting. He left Lucid Motors to start this venture.
Lucid Motors is starting that venture?
No. The guy left Lucid.
Oh.
He was a system engineer at Lucid. He was like, I'm out. I'm going to go start an immigration platform.
I mean, hey, that...
Oh, yes, Dinosaur D. There is news on that lagoon. The lagoon was pushed out to 2025 start date.
Yeah. I reported on that a week ago when you weren't here.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I know. I did cover that on here. Yeah. I kind of went that day. I really just went through it pretty fast. So okay. Dinosaur D, I got to show you this because you're talking about 78660. Hold on. Let me see. 20K markup for foundation series. Oof, yeah. Did you guys see all of those new units going up at Lake Pflugerville? Oh, sorry. Here, I'll put this up. Lake Pflugerville. I thought that'll be houses. Was a little disappointed to see they're all units. Everything's units.
There are a lot of units.
Dinosaur D's watching my shorts. Do you like the shorts? Dinosaur D, get out of my shorts. But do you like the short content? Those are fun to put together. I've been trying to keep those coming a little bit faster. Coming faster. Gosh, I am in trouble on this channel. Canceled. All right. What was I going to show you? Oh, not Dinosaur D. It was Aaron. Here we go.
Are you over there building a Cybertruck?
Oh, yeah, I expect that a Cybertruck. Oh, so this is 78660. If you want a different zip code, let me know. So 78660. If you look, so I don't understand how they do the year-to-date numbers versus the year-over-year numbers, but year-over-year for December, 78660 was up 3%. Year-to-date, down 10%. But what's interesting when they do this, I've looked at this, the numbers don't really match up. So I'm not really sure how they're pulling this year-to-date number. Yeah, here's what's
Yeah.
interesting. Existing homes year over year are down 2%. New construction's what's up. So those new construction prices are way up.
So your year over year should be what it was at this point last year, from last year to today.
That's year over year. Yeah. And so that's the top numbers year over year, which is this top number right here. Oh, shoot. This top number. Come on. Which is 3%. Year to date, which would be January 1st till now. But I don't think these numbers are actually that much lower. So I don't know if it's like going from the high to now. So they went to the peak to now. But even if you go to the peak, the Austin numbers didn't drop 10%. It's interesting. I don't understand how they pulled this data. I really don't. I tried to figure it out, but I guess I'm not smart enough for their. Remember that time I said gypsy math? I'm not allowed to say that anymore.
You were never allowed to
that
say
was the first
Not
multifamily
since YouTube
single.
was a thing.
What was that?
I said you haven't been allowed to say that since YouTube was a thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not like a new thing.
I've had to apologize to the gypsy community twice now. Say what now? That doesn't make sense. Multifamily, single family home.
So Aaron was saying that over there, the multifamily units are being built first, and then the single family is coming soon. And that is absolutely how developers would love to do it. Referencing back to the mayor of Kyle when he was on, he was like, heck yeah, the more density, the better, because now you can put all these people in a place. It's affordable and they can start spending money. And now it's like thriving when you start building your single family homes. So I could see that. They're starting to generate revenue for the project early on.
Interesting. Interesting. Does anybody else want another zip code we can talk with? What else is going on over there, Ian?
So let's see. What did we talk about? WeWork. They were going through bankruptcy a while ago. They identified 4 stores they're going to keep, and then they're going to start negotiating with everything else. Austin was not one of them. That surprised me. The fact that they were like, well, we'll keep New York, Arlington, Virginia, Tempe, Arizona. Either one. Tempe. And then Columbus, Ohio, like we had mentioned earlier. So those are some big places. Skipped over Austin. They were like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, because we have a lot. It's not the problem. The thing with Austin is Austin sees a good idea and then they replicate it, right? So there's like 10 other co-working spaces. And so that same thing happened with Uber, and then you had Lyft, and then you had like Austin Rideshare, and then you had all these other people taking over and doing that. So that Austin and California have that, I'll call it a problem. It's not a problem. Have that much competition. So I could see them not wanting to leave their WeWork space here in Austin, or not caring to fight for the lease. Isn't there like a real estate brokerage that WeWork is their only office?
Well, I know EXP for a while was at Regents.
Yeah, Regency.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever that. Yeah, Regency, whatever. I like this question, John Perez. Jason Perez says, "What about how's real estate and Tesla and Samsung moving?" Oh, this isn't the question I was going to answer, but I like this one too.
Yeah,
I'm going to do a full video on Hutto coming up because I think Hutto is one of the top areas that's going to see a big boom this year. I really do. I think that's one of the areas that's going to see a big boom. And I don't mean like big price boom, just like they're going to be building like crazy. So this is the question. What?
I was going to say, Hutto has so much room for growth. That's the big benefit, right? They have so much room for growth, and they'll be in between Samsung Taylor and Tesla Austin. Right. Yeah. So
I don't think they're going to have a big price boom. I just think they're going to have growth. They're going to run into the buzzsaw that everybody's running into. It's too much inventory. I've been looking at new construction in Pflugerville and Hutto. Give me a call. Build quality is still COVID area. Yeah. So I actually shot and filmed a video today talking about this exact topic. Literally, I shot a video with a inspector that I use a lot. And we actually went through all the problems from COVID and like what you should be looking out for if you're even buying a COVID home or buying new construction right now. So it was a great time. Shot that today. It was great.
They needed to expand 130. Interesting.
Already.
There is a choke point in 130.
Yeah. They already need 130 needs expansion already. 35 needs expansion. 45 needs expansion. 183 needs expansion. How about this? We'll just put in more toll roads.
Well, no. That's why the boring company's building up operations here. Hopefully, they even got new tech, boring company tech. It's gonna be great. You watch. 5 to 10 years, no traffic issues. We're gonna have cars driving themselves, which means you won't have people that don't know how to zipper. Ugh. That's the big problem. Nobody knows how to follow the rules. When the cars are doing it, you don't have to worry about bad drivers. Actually, you do have to worry. You have to worry about bad drivers more that are angry that the cars are driving themselves. Anyway, that's a whole.
I'm a big fan of the zipper merge.
Yes. Learn to drive.
The Hyperloop company just closed. I'm so happy. What?
Yeah, right.
What's the Hyperloop company?
Oh, Hyperloop. That was another one of Elon's initial passion projects. And he said, I don't have time to work on this. You do it. Here's how you build a Hyperloop. And then nobody could figure it out. MIT couldn't figure it out. Like, nobody could do it. I
don't blame him. Any buzz on Bastrop? Bastrop County was up 2% year over year. That's it. Up 2%.
Hutto has one road in and out.
Yeah,
that's why the traffic is horrible.
The problem is Bastrop is growing, but they're not growing.
Well, they're gonna suffer the same fate as Hutto. They're gonna grow, but no infrastructure, no roads, no way to get anywhere. And this is Pflugerville. This is how I feel about Pflugerville, y'all. I feel like everything, they have a lot of cool stuff happening in Pflugerville, but it's all tucked away in weird spots. You got to make like 4 3-point turns just to get into a good parking lot that has something to eat. It's frustrating. And I feel like that's what happens when you're not actually planning your city and your city just happens to you.
Yeah, that's what my degree was in, is city planning and meteorology.
Urology? I thought it was geology.
Meteorology. No.
Oh, I was like, how you gonna go from city planning to body planning?
So I was on the phone with my assistant today, and she's like, yeah, I'm really worried about all this real estate stuff, not our stuff, just like real estate in general. And I was like, look, here's the problem. Everybody hates real estate agents because we're like proctologists. Nobody needs a real estate agent or wants a real estate agent until they have to have one. And then they don't really even want to go. That's the problem with real estate agents. We're like proctologists. Nobody wants to go to a butt doctor, but sometimes you got to go.
Yeah, sometimes. So I want to ask this question to Shri. I just answered this question if you can. What is the reason
I'm considering Manor.
Choosing Manor?
Yeah.
That's it.
What is
the reason you are choosing Manor?
Well, they're asking about Manor. They've asked about Hutto. They asked about Shri. Asked about quite a few.
Yeah, but considering Manor. So I'm just curious, what is leading you down that path? Aaron's ridiculous.
All right. Near Tesla Airport. Are you work for Tesla? Aaron says he loves agents, especially ones that wear shirts to say the FOMO is real.
Come on, it's a good shirt.
It's a great shirt. I love that shirt. Speaking of real, if you're a real estate agent and you want to come to a fun event tomorrow, I'm actually doing a fun event. It's an agent that does 152,000 followers on Instagram. He's going to come give a talk I have him coming into Austin, giving a talk. I also have a class on video on Friday for agents. So if you're a realtor, if you're looking for a brokerage, we're doing a lot of fun crap at Real Broker. We're helping agents do some fun stuff. So laugh out loud. Jeremy asking ChatGPT about the house and the mouse. No, I was messaging Ian. But all I know is they're not building anything, is to my knowledge. I think what they were initially doing was buying a big property so they could put in more homes. And it was going to be like one of those like Anthem style properties. Ian worked his butt off for me and I didn't even pay him. Oh my God. Don't say
Speaking
that.
of the NAR lawsuit, no, I don't want to talk about that.
No,
I'm just saying.
dude, I'm so done talking about
I
that.
know.
I know why?
We did talk about that at the board though, so
Yeah.
it was good. Good stuff.
Aaron, Dennis D says you should not consider Manor because there's no HEB. Have you been to HEB yet, Shri?
Oh, that's the right question. Just go and tour all the HEBs across the Austin, the greater Austin area, and that will help you decide, not the Randalls, the HEBs, and that will help you decide what area you want to live in. That's really funny. That HEB tour, that needs to happen.
So
I've been to probably most of them, but
let me answer this question about Manor, what you should do, what you should not do. Number one, this whole channel has been built on all the videos I've done besides REALMigos are all about all of these, answering all these questions. If you're looking at Manor, you need to answer a few questions, and that's, is it the right place for you? Is it fit your needs? Number two, you need to look at the property taxes. Wherever you go, look at the property tax rate, because if you're going to buy new construction, especially, I have all of these clients who call me. They're like, hey, how's Chesmar Homes in this neighborhood? Is it a good? And I'm like, well, are you wanting me to use me as your agent? Or are you just wanting free information? Oh, well, maybe I want to use you as an agent, but I really want free information is what they want. And so they call me and then I go, well, you should check out the tax rates there before you do anything. And they're like, well, why would I care about the tax rates? And then they don't use me. And then they call me 6 months later. Hey, the taxes are really high. What should I do? Well, you didn't use me as your realtor, so I can't really help you with the property tax situation. So move along. And then like the other thing that happens is like a year later, they call me like, hey, I need to sell a house. The property taxes are too high. So Shri, I would tell you, number one, work with a really good realtor that's going to give you all the really, really good information and not just give you the surface level stuff. That's one. Number two, I would say very much pay attention to your tax rates, because when the builder tells you, oh, the tax rate's 1.8%, and you're like, oh, that's awesome. It sounds good. It's way better than 3%. But there's a PID, and then you're paying an additional $325 a month. And you're like, why am I paying this extra? The builder didn't really tell me. The builder lied to me. Yeah, these builders aren't going to give you the truth. They don't work on your behalf. Okay. They work to sell you something. We work to help you. That's what I'm going to say. There you go. We should have REALMigos live podcast in Pflugerville. We should just do film it right from there. Everybody drink beers and I'm not going to drink beers, but everybody else drink beers. I might have a water or an iced tea. Ian, do we both quit drinking? Look at that. Well, you haven't been drinking.
Yeah, I never drank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you see the link I posted? The one with the the 3 dwellings on one property.
I don't want to talk about that because I'm talking about it in next week's video.
That's fine. Save it.
Yeah. So no, let's talk about it. If you're going to watch, I go into detail about some of this, but yeah, this is interesting. Which link was it? Let me see. I have it on here, but yeah, they passed that. Is it this one? Austin should build 3. Yeah. Okay. I gotcha. Here we go. The full screen. Let's go here. There we go. So applications open soon to build 3 homes on one lot through Austin's new home initiative. So this is what it's going to look like. So typically on a 7,000 square foot lot, you could only build X amount of units. So we actually have an investor client right now, Ian, that's buying a lot. That is buying the lot with the property on it. We're going to move the property to the front of the property and then put 2 more units behind it, just like this. Well, they are going to do that, but we're buying the lot. But yeah, what do you think about this? Because this is the one thing that's going to be interesting about this. A lot of people like in Westlake, where they're big lots, acre lots, and there's a lot of restrictions on what you can build in a lot. They've removed some of these restrictions. So you're going to build 3 units on a lot in Westlake. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. What do you think?
So we're already seeing this in like your Allendale and your Brentwood, where people are getting rid of these smaller single family homes on large lots, and they're turning them into they're almost compounds, right? I don't think it's much different than that. As long as what they require them to build stays like aesthetically pleasing, modern. I think the big worry is the congestion for traffic for a lot of people. But yeah, if you're in Westlake, and again, it's a lot of smaller roads, one in, one out, gated communities. If people start doing that, and then it triples the amount of people living in an area, Westlake isn't really poised to grow. It's just not. There's no
most of Austin's not poised to grow.
Right, most of Austin, but it's acceptable in an area like when you're downtown or east side. It's acceptable because you have a lot of outlets. You have a lot of different directions you can leave and side streets that you can take. In Westlake, you don't have that. In Hutto, you don't have that, right? A lot of these smaller cities, if they do that, you don't have that room.
No, so, okay, yeah. You have a Costco in Pflugerville now. It's been there a while. So I get what you're saying. I'm my concern with this density thing is, and I cover this in next week's video quite a bit. My concern is, number one, we haven't fixed the congestion issue. The train still keeps getting shot down. They can't get the train that we're spending $7 billion on. We can't get that going. And so you want to go super dense. Like the city council's way to get affordability is to subsidize these buildings, right? The city takes more tax dollars, subsidize these buildings, and then they put in 10% affordable housing, which is subsidized. I think the worst part when people try to do those loan types or those builders. So you'll have that where it's like 10% of the homes you can buy a home and it's cheaper because it's this whatever program. The problem is, let's say you own that home for 5 years and you live in that home for 5 years, and then you go to sell it, you can't get the equity out of it. So you've been renting a house for 5 years. I had a client reach out to me this year, dude. And he was like, yeah, I need to sell my house. And we started looking into it. I'm like, well, you don't have any equity. Like, do you have a down payment? Because you have no equity. The complex, the company that did this loan for you, for this affordable housing, for you to own a home, and it's detached single family home, they own the equity, not you.
Yep.
Like, how sad is that to spend 5 years? Imagine what's mortgage like? 35 grand, 40 grand a year is what some mortgages are. So you're spending 40 grand a year on your mortgage for 5 years and you get no equity out of that. Well, that's why you buy a home, and they're totally screwing people with that.
Another thing that's not related to the loan, but I think still pretty important, is the impermeable coverage for this. So now imagine you have a lot. Oh, wow. Okay. So imagine you have a lot and you're now putting 3 homes on it. And I know they're going to evaluate how much surface area you're covering. But when you start getting to some of these areas that are lower points in Austin, if they're doing this, which they will because they see this opportunity for profit, then you're going to end up having more flooding. Watch it happen. If this gets passed, you're going to end up having more flooding. You need the green space to offset when it does rain. It already doesn't rain that much, but when it does, it rains hard.
That's something that is kind of worrisome because we do have a lot of flooding. So if you're going to do denser where water can't collect, now Austin does a really good job with retention ponds and things like that, but you're going to go denser and
Austin doesn't.
Yes, true. I mean, I see retention ponds around Austin, but we could use a lot more because, I mean, Central Austin flooded, like South Central Austin flooded like 78745 not too long, like last year. Remember the Halloween floods, like Onion Creek flooded. You're right. I think
they're completely redoing Onion Creek, right? And in the process, they'll re-engineer it, right? But that's the thing. It takes the re-engineering and development to be able to plan for that. And they're just going to slap new homes on the same lots.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. I mean, there's not a lot
grassland and cows go to Manor.
Well, so what we need to do is we need the boring company to have a water collection for all this runoff and then ship all the water up to the lake.
Oh my gosh, that would be perfect.
Right? Because the problem is like when it rains in Austin, it's totally missing the lake
Well,
where it needs to go. So we need a way
so
to pump it back up.
did you know that's political too? Like the control of the water?
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. So like the Lower Colorado River Authority, they're the energy supplier, water control. They wouldn't like it if the boring company came in and helped them reroute the water. They would not like
of
that.
course they're not gonna. Yeah, I mean, I'm just kidding. I wasn't serious. Like
I know. I'm thinking through if there was any attempt to actually fix the problem, how would it be done?
Of course. I mean, land and water are what people are the two commodities that people are buying, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Was not Bezos? Who's the other billionaire that's buying up water?
Gates.
Bill Gates. Yeah. Even
He's
sand
one of the largest.
political.
He is the largest landowner in the U.S.
Sand is political. There's God, what is that show? Oh, Barry on HBO. Have you ever watched that show? Oh, it's so funny.
Never even heard of it.
The last season, this mafia group decides that they're going to start going legit by getting into the sand business, and then that turns into, I think, if I remember correctly, then that turns into a mafia issue too. So, but they were going legit because they were buying sand for concrete. That's funny.
Interesting. This is last one. I'm going to post it in our private chat. Check this one out. I did not see this. Travis County lifts moratorium on PID agreements.
This is what I talked about.
In your video?
No, this is what I was just talking about earlier. I said that I talked about this earlier. Here,
I didn't know it was approved. That's good. I mean, I don't know.
This is what I was talking about.
Velocity.
This is what the mayor is upset about, because with the PIDs, PIDs circumvent the actual cities. So instead of taxes going to the cities, the cities manage the water. It goes to these special districts. So
velocity, yeah, because I've driven by there a bunch, and I'm like, that's not going anywhere. Let's see. I wonder if that will also. I don't think that has nothing to do with the reason why the Leander Lagoon.
No, that's nothing.
Leander Springs is taking a while, but that's investors or capital or something like that.
So Travis County lists moratorium on PID agreements. After 4 years hiatus, Travis County is reintroducing a tool designed to support large scale developments. So this is what I was talking about. So these developments, what they do is they make these PIDs. So basically the developers put in a tax to put in the water, to put in the stuff so the cities don't. PIDs enable counties and cities to levy additional taxes on sites to pay for specific project-related improvements. They're used in counties across Texas to help cover some costs to developers, such as road construction, water, and wastewater systems and landscaping when the mass whatever. So basically what I was just saying, before unanimously voting to lift their PID moratorium, Travis County Commissioner added provision that at least 10% of the housing development under there must remain affordable for them to live in the agreement for the life of the agreement. Yeah. Wow. Interesting. What is affordable? The moratorium was initially implemented near the start of the COVID-19 pandemic when counties paused non-essential construction. It was kept in place because of uncertainty regarding the housing and bond markets. So interesting. What are your thoughts on that?
If it allows for more projects like Velocity, then we'll have more projects like that, right?
Yeah.
I think that goes back to what P. Cruz and a couple other people were saying, as far as we'll start losing a lot more of our land. I mean, we have a while, right? We have a while before land is gone here, before we're a concrete jungle, but we'll start getting a lot more of those with live, work, play developments. And I think it's good for the growth of the city, but it's all going to fall back into planning and making sure that we actually have a need for the growth and not just growing for the sake of.
I think that's the problem Austin's facing, right? We're that you're that teenager where we're trying to grow like crazy. You had all these developers come in here. They saw money, and these developers bought up everything thinking that COVID was going to continue and that we were going to continue to see this heavy amount of growth. I do think we will see a lot more purchases this year than we did last year as far as movement, because rates are better that they're not in the 7%, but I mean, they're coming up. So I don't know. These developers bought up so much land. I don't see prices going super crazy this year, but I do think there'll be more sales. Unfortunately, there's a lot of overbuilding.
Yeah.
So, all right, Ian, I gotta go, man. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten tonight.
Oh man, I ate right before. I had me some pork chops and some sweet mashed potatoes and some green beans. Oh,
nice.
My goodness. And some Topo Chico orange.
Yeah, I gotta drink some water.
Sponsorship accepted.
I got my Stanley right here. Sponsored by
Oh
Stanley.
my good. Did you serious? You're so ridiculous.
I got that for Christmas.
See, I'm sitting here with the mint Yeti.
Mint Yeti. See, I'm a Yeti guy.
Yeah, it's an Austin company. You got to be
Eating like a king. All right, we'll see you in the next one.
See y'all.